Hey, this is Spiros from Knarr Analytics. I've been asked some questions about how can you look at coronavirus data in Knarr, so I'm just gonna make this quick video to show you how you might load that data in to start exploring it and profiling it. I'm going to be pulling data from our world in data. So they've got some good information, some good research going on there, and they have this page where they share their source data, and that includes a CSV file that has we're going to see what it has, but it has by country and date these four metrics. So total confirmed cases, total deaths, so that's cumulative, the new confirmed cases and new deaths by day. So I can just download this data set, have this CSV here, and I'm going to put it in Dropbox. So for Knarr, we can load from CSV sources like Dropbox, Google Drive, Google Sheets, as well as some other platforms. So just to show you very quickly, we'll just pull up Dropbox and we'll drop this file in here. We give it a better name. Realize that's not how you spell coronavirus. And we'll go flip over to the Knarr tool now. What you can do is you can create a free account and explore data for free if you want. If you already have an account, you can just log right in. And I'm going to create a new project. So new project is where I can add data with other people and start to explore and take notes on that data. So when I start off in this new project, I don't have any data yet. So we'll create a new data set. You can have as many data sets as you want in a project. In this case, we'll just call this our world in data set so that we remember that's where the data came from. And now I can start to add tables for this particular data set. If you haven't used the tool before, you'll have to set up a new source like Dropbox or Excel, Google Drive, etc. I have some sources set up, so I'm going to just hook into my Dropbox account. There's that coronavirus file. If I expand that, we can see the different fields in there. If you don't know SQL, that's okay. You can just press this little button. It'll stick the SQL statement in there for you. And you can even look at a preview of it to make sure that the data looks like it's getting loaded in, which that does look right. We'll just name this table coronavirus stats and click apply, and that'll load all of the data for us. So it's about 6,000 rows in there, and I can quickly profile that here. So let's say I want to explore this data. We can flip over to explore mode and pick the data set we want. We only have one, which is this our world in data set. And maybe I'll create a new note here to start capturing what I'm finding. So I'll call this note initial data profiling. And maybe the first thing we should do is just like a sanity check. So I'll add a KPI to my project, and we'll put in a formula. The formula syntax is very similar to like other tools like Excel and things like that. You have counts, sums, etc., and you can do that with columns. If you're not sure what to put in, you can use these buttons here. So let's say we want to just sum up the total cases, and we want to do that just for the last day that we have as part of our sanity check here. So we'll do March 23rd, and then we can format this number with some commas to make it a little bit easier to read. Total cases. This number looks off, looks too big, so maybe I'll take a note of that. Based on what I've been reading and seeing other researchers write about. So maybe I'll put in here a KPI of total cases for March 23rd looks too big. And you can either use Control K, or you can click this camera icon and take a picture of it. So we'll say this is total cases 3/23. And now I have this little snapshot that I can come and get back to, and you'll see how that works in a minute. So let's break this out into a bar chart instead and look at it by location, see if we can figure out what's going on with this data. So let's say I look at location. I'm just going to rotate this vertically, and let's put the same formula in the measure and sort this descending. And we'll see our culprit there is that in this data set they have this extra value called world, which is the summation of all the other values. For our analysis, we don't want that. We'll just sum those values ourselves. Let's go ahead and take another snapshot here. Breaking down by location. There is a world value that needs to be removed. And I'll put this snapshot in here. And now I can jump back and forth between these as needed, but let's go ahead and fix the problem. So if we go back to the data sets, we can click this icon to edit that table we created. This supports most SQL statements and syntax, so we could put a nice little where clause in here, like where location doesn't equal world. Let's load that again. And so it dropped about 100 records down to 6,300 records. And if we go back to what we were looking at, this looks right now. 337,000 is more appropriate. If we look at it by location, we're missing those. That world value is no longer in there. And so now you can keep doing more, data exploration. Maybe I'm gonna put this off to the side and say, you know what? Let's look at a line chart. For the line chart, we'll do date to do a time series. And we'll do maybe like sum of new cases over time. And we have this date filter applied, so we'll just clear that so we get all the dates. Let's move this guy out of the way. And we can start to see some of the trends there. Now, new cases is probably better as a bar chart, but that's okay. We'll leave this for now. We can also split this if we want to see it by country, so maybe we can do it into rows by location. Get rid of this guy and pull this down. And we can sort those locations by the sort of value descending. And so we can see here's China and what China's curve looked like versus Italy versus the United States. Obviously, these aren't weighted by population or anything like that. So you could go back to the data sets and add another table that links to this with population and then use that in your formulas. And then, of course, you could capture this. We'll call it trend by country. We'll put a little snapshot in here. And click this button. Just leave the title like that. And so now you can get a sense of how to do some quick analysis in Knarr and share things. The last thing I'll point out is it is collaborative. So if you're working with other people and you want to sort of crowdsource your insights, you can click this add user button at the top right and add other people on the platform by email. So I could add Jerry, for example, and now he'll be able to come in here. He'll be able to create his own notes, edit my notes, copy and paste from my notes. So he could even take snapshots out of my notes and put them in his notes and start to build off of them himself. So I hope this helps for people that were interested in using the tool to try to learn more about what's going on